thank you for clicking on this video. Today I'm going to show you the 10 palettes that I wish I had, or the ones that I'd like to own. That doesn't mean that I will ever have them, but these are the ones that I like, the color stories that I like, the colors and everything. And if you have any of these palettes, I envy you. But if you don't have them and you would like to have them as well, tell me in the comments. Or if you have a palette that you really would like to own and it's none of the ones that I mentioned, please tell me in the comments because I'd like to know. Let me just slide to the side and let's start. So the first palette that I'm going to talk about is the one that I've been wanting for so long. It's the one that I've been wanting for the longest. I don't know if I'll ever have it because they kind of discontinued it, but it's still on their website, so I don't know if it's limited edition or no. But it's the Subculture palette from Anastasia Beverly Hills. This palette, I absolutely love it. I love the colors. I have the Modern Renaissance, and I feel like that palette with this one, they would look perfect together, creating looks with both of them together. I'd love to do that, but I don't know if that will ever happen. Also, they had all those problems with the formula and everything, so I don't know. The colors are beautiful, I love them, they're grungy and everything like I love. But yeah, if I never get it, it's okay. I can still appreciate the photos and the looks that people create with it. But yeah, it's a beautiful palette. For this second palette, it was actually on a huge sale on Black Friday. I didn't get it because the shipping was almost the same amount as the palette, and I was like, yeah, better not. But yeah, it's a beautiful palette. It's from Certify. It's the Tropical Wonders palette. It's a full matte palette. It has a white, a black, a gray, beautiful rainbow colors, the blues, the greens, everything. It's a beautiful palette, but yeah, I don't have it. I don't know if I'll ever have it, but I can look at it and feel like it's beautiful even if I don't have it. For the third palette, I think it is the newest palette, and it's the palette from Be Perfect with Stacey Marie Carnival 3 Love Tahiti palette. A huge name, and it's a beautiful palette. It has loads of colors. I kind of was like, okay, if I don't buy the other palette, the Tropical Wonders one, I can kind of imitate some of the shades if I get this one. I don't know if that will happen, but that was me trying to talk me out of buying the other palette. But this one has loads of colors, all those shimmery shades are beautiful, those greens, the blues, the purples, the pinks. I absolutely love it. Again, I don't know if I'll ever have it, but if I do have it, I think I'll have a lot of fun with it. The only thing about this palette is I feel like it will be bigger than a normal Morphe palette, like Jaclyn Hill palette. I have that palette, and if this one is bigger than that, yeah, it has more shades, but yeah, it's a beautiful palette. I'll have to wait eventually, I don't know. Now for a super small palette. This fourth palette is from Makeup Revolution. Well, it's I Heart Revolution. I never know, like they have a lot of sub-brands. I don't get it. But it's the Mini Tasty Avocado, and I blame Angelica Nyquist for this palette because I don't think I would want it if I didn't see her video and everything. It's an affordable palette, so it's not like I'm going to get broke from buying it, but I still have it in my wish list. I don't know if I'll ever get it. I would like to have a small palette with greens, and this is it, but I'm still thinking about it. I don't know yet, but I feel like it's a beautiful palette, and I think the color selection is really good as well. Now for these three next palettes, they are all from Juvia's Place, and I only chose 3, but if I could, I would choose all of them. But the first one that I'm going to talk about is the Festival palette. I feel like this palette is super beautiful. It has that bright red I would love to play with. It also has these kind of, this shimmery blue, the shimmery kind of metal shade. I love it. I don't know. I already have 2 palettes from Juvia's Place, and if I could have this one and the next one and the other one, I don't know. I feel like they are simple palettes but with a color selection that not everyone would think of, and I really like it. As much as I like the next one, the Warrior 3 palette, that palette is also so beautiful. It has that bright pink, the bright blue, that green, that shimmery blue, that shimmery silver shade. There was a time that I wanted to get one and I was trying to justify buying one. For example, oh, they both have reds, so I could only have one of them. Oh, they both have shimmery blue, so I could choose only one of them. But in reality, if I could have both, I would. But yeah, they're beautiful. The next one, it's one of the 6 pan palettes that Juvia's Place has, and it's the Violet palette. I feel like this palette is so gorgeous. I love that tone of purple, and it has 4 shimmery shades and 2 matte shades. And what can I say more? I'm going to say that I love all of these palettes because I truly love all these color stories and everything, so I can't say much more. But this is an amazing palette. I love what they're doing with the kind of monochromatic palettes. This more violet one, they have the berries, the chocolates, the taupes, a lot. And if I could have one of them, it would be this one because it's so beautiful and I love the colors. Now for these 2 next palettes, they are both from Mount Cosmetics. They're beautiful, of course, otherwise I wouldn't want them. And the first one is the Smoke Sessions palette. It's another green palette. So yeah, I don't think if I ever bought one of these green palettes that I should buy the other green palettes, but they are all beautiful. I love that this one has those green light bluish shades, so you could go a bit more brown, a bit more green, a bit more bluish, and in a green palette you can play a lot with this one. For the next Melt Cosmetics palette, it's the She's in Parties palette, and I feel like it's a beautiful berries kind of palette, and you can go really dark with this palette. That's what I love about it. You could do this kind of look but with berries, and I feel like it's a beautiful palette, and the shades are really beautiful, really grungy. You could do like a sultry berry look with it and you would look fantastic. And yeah. For the last palette, it's a palette from Huda Beauty, and this one is more of a neutral palette. The last one was kind of neutral but was more berry leaning. This one is more neutral than that. And it's the Huda Beauty Nude Obsessions Rich palette. It's one of those 3 palettes that she launched. She had the light, the medium, and the rich one. I don't know if you're supposed to pick them up. For example, if you have light skin tone, you go for the light one. If you have a medium skin tone, you go for the medium. If you have a dark skin tone, you go for the rich one. I don't know if you're supposed to pick them up like that. I have a medium kind of skin tone, but I really love the darker one, and if I had to choose one of them, I would go for this one. I feel like it's really beautiful. Again, you can create really sultry looks with this one. It kind of has those berry kind of shades. It's not truly neutral, but still I really like it. And at least the darkest brown, it's brown. It kind of has a bit of the pink. I feel like she puts a lot of pinks in the neutral shades. It could be just a neutral palette, like really brown tones, but it's a bit more pinky leaning. Still, I really like it, and if I could have it, I would go for this one. So these were all the 10 palettes that I wish I have. I don't know if I'll ever buy any of these. I'm kind of leaning towards the big palette, the Stacey Marie Carnival 3 Love Tahiti palette, because it has so much that I could create a lot of looks using it. It's not just a small palette that I can create just those types of looks, but still, I don't know if I'm going to get it, but they are all beautiful. Tell me, if you had to choose one of these 10 palettes, which one would you choose? They are all so beautiful to me that I don't know. For example, if I had to pick one of them right now, like I had all the money in the world and I had to pick one of them, or one of them would be free, and yeah, I don't even know which one I would go for. I don't know if I would go for the bigger palette because it has more shades, or if I would go for the more expensive palette. If the first one would be free, I could go for the more expensive palette. But yeah, I really hope you liked the video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you have an amazing day, and I'll see you next time. Bye!